Right, the next one is rent expense that they've given us according to the trial balance. Pre-adjustments was 636,480. The year ends 28 February 2023. And again, this case, rent is paid 1 month extra, so 1 month in advance. So starting off, drawing my timeline. The year ends Feb 2023, but we received until end of March of 2023. The year would have started on 1 March 2022, and they say that, the rent is paid 1 month in advance. So this amount here is for 13 months. We've we've paid too much rent. So they say to us that rent was increased by a rand amount of 4,680 on the 1st of October. So then on the 1st of October, I go and plot that date. There it was increased with 4,680. Right, so because this is a rand amount increase, we're going to use X as the amount of rent we paid before any increase took place. So that means we paid X amount for March, April, May, June, July, August, and September, which is 7 months. For October, November, December, January, February, plus an extra month, so 5 months plus 1 extra, gave me that we paid not the normal X, but we paid X plus 4,680. We know that in our rent expense account, they say there's a pre-adjustment amount of 636,480. Okay, but that is for 13 months. So you should be able to already see we're going to have to reduce rent expense so that it only shows the 12 months. Okay, but then we're doing the algebraic equation to solve X by saying we know that this whole time period, the 7 months plus these 6 months gave us that 636,480. And that's why I would then put them next to each other and say, for the 7 months we paid X, and for the 6 months we paid X plus an extra 4,680. For those 13 months, if you add 7 plus 6, you get 13. So for those 13 months, we did pay a total of 636,480. And then again, I'm simplifying so I can solve X by multiplying into my bracket. 6 times X gives me 6X. 6 times 4,680 gives me 28,080. And that is equal to 636,480. I then get 13X alone on the one side. I carry the 28,080 over, and it becomes a negative. So I then say 636,480 minus 28,080, and I get that 13X is equal to 608,400. I then divide on both sides with 13 to get X alone, and then I get an amount of 46,800. So our rent per month was 46,800 before the increase, and therefore we can see that this is technically a 10% increase that took place. So if I substitute 46,800 into X's place, I get that the amount after the increase would have been 51,480, and therefore the 1 month that we have paid in advance would be at that price, and therefore we're going to remove 51,480 from rent expense and move that to a prepaid expense. So when we are paying too much rent, it's always going to be a prepaid expense. If we received too much rent, then it's income received in advance. So just make sure you're using the correct contra account. prepaid expense is then equal to 51,480. And my expense will now only show 12 months rent because we started with 13 and then we have now removed the extra month. So yeah, there we go. Rent increased by not a percentage, but a rand amount, and we paid 1 month in advance.